So what were you going to do?
What were you singing?
What? What?
Kick some music. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a special episode of Hardheaded. With me, as always, Matt Amos, Chet Sears, and I am your lovely host today, Troy Three-Shot Trussell. That's right. Today is special, folks, because we got a big show coming up. And I'm not talking about a big hard-headed show. I'm talking about the Super Bowl. Super Bowl.
I just want to put out there who is in the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, okay. Not the Saints.
I already forgot because the Saints lost. So
yeah.
Who is it?
So that would be the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes.
And then, of course, it had to be Tom Brady and the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pathetic.
So what are we're going to cover today? Predictions?
Yep.
We're going to still keep the top three and top three Super Bowl
snacks. Because that's very important to a Super Bowl party.
Yeah.
Especially when your team's not in the game.
I'll be honest with you. That's the only thing. That's the only reason to go to a Super Bowl party.
That's correct.
Because really, do you want to be around a whole bunch of people that aren't paying attention to the game?
Especially when
maybe
your
you do
team,
if the Saints aren't in it. I don't know. But
yeah. Well, if the Saints are in it and I'm in Louisiana, I'd love to be around some people.
But what I will say that you all are wearing red, so that I assume now that you are going to be Chiefs fans for this game.
I am certainly going to root for the Chiefs over Tom Brady. I'll root for anybody over Tom Brady.
I root for the Chiefs all the time, but they're just not my number one team, other than when they play the Saints.
Other than when they're winning and going to Super Bowls, and then they trail off into something you don't even watch or care about.
They can very much trail off into something I don't watch or care about. I'm not like you. I mean, this is a secondary team for me. So, but I'm there. I'm a fan.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Not
jumping on, the tailgate.
It's okay to
be
wagon. It's okay to be on the bandwagon.
Bandwagon, there it is.
So, this guy's got a tailgate.
You honestly didn't know?
It wasn't coming to me.
Oh.
This guy's got a tailgate now, and now it's children being under their own wings, and then
oh goodness.
Yeah,
well, I'll tell you one of the reasons. I'm a really big fan of. So Troy and I went to Louisiana Tech University, and I was really pleased to see we had a few players get drafted. L'Jarius Sneed got drafted in the 4th round to Kansas City, so I've been watching him light him up this year. So really big fan. He went to Minden High School and then Louisiana Tech and played safety at Tech and came over as a cornerback, picked in the 4th round. Interception game number 1. Got another interception in game number 2. Come out like a rocket. Then he broke his collarbone. Now he's back. Got another pick. Got a couple sacks in there as well. And he's in concussion protocol.
And he got a concussion.
But I'm super stoked to have a Bulldog on the stage, rookie year. And he's doing fantastic. So really pulling for him. And going against Brady.
So
shut him down, Sneed.
And as much as people talk down or talk bad about Brady just always winning, he is legitimately probably the best quarterback of all time. I mean, for right now,
he's really good. He is really good. I think if he didn't have the team behind him that he has behind him this year, he wouldn't have gotten to where he is.
But and I'll say, I don't think the team would get to where they are without him.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's a true team.
Yeah.
They needed him, but he needed somebody different. I mean, if he was playing in New England this year, they wouldn't be in the Super Bowl.
But and it was kind of funny because I was reading statistics on Tom Brady, and one just flashed up as I was scrolling through football stuff, and it said that Tom Brady in his professional career has been to the Super Bowl 10 out of his 22 years.
Yeah, that's incredible.
And then it compared that to Steph Curry's 3-point percentage. And Tom Brady, if we're comparing percentages, is more likely to reach the Super Bowl than Steph Curry is to make a 3-pointer. That's pretty incredible.
I had a lot more respect for him after that ESPN 30 for 30, and they kind of went through how the whole draft, not just the day, because he got picked like last, like way down. But the two things that he really followed through on is he went, and I think it's Kraft or whoever owns the Patriots, and said, "You'll never regret the day that you drafted me. Like, you will never regret it." And he said this right after he got drafted when nobody knew.
Yeah.
And then I think he told Bledsoe, and I may be wrong, but I think he told Bledsoe, like, you know, I love you, but if you get hurt, you're never starting. You're never starting again. Don't let me on that field, because if you do, you're done here. And he followed through on both of those. Like, those are two checks that he wrote with his mouth, and his performances, he's cashed in.
Cashed with his arm.
Yeah.
Well, and his arm, and I think, and I don't know about Brady. I know about Breeze. You know, you look at all the complex offenses that are being run, and Mahomes is awesome, but Mahomes is out there with his wristband. You know, and I gotta double check this, and you look at people like Brady and Breeze, they know all this stuff. Like they don't have to have any mental assistance, alertness, awareness that are out there. And maybe Mahomes will get there, but I really respect Brady for his awareness, game, knows all the plays, all that kind of stuff, and really come through. But we probably need to say who we think who's gonna win the game.
Yeah.
What's your call?
I say 31-10 Chiefs.
Woo, 10.
Oof.
I think they're going to shut him down.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the last game he threw, 3 interceptions in the second half?
I don't remember.
Brady? Yeah, I think they're going to shut him down.
Ooh, Snead. Snead's going to pick him off.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going, 31-24 Chiefs.
Oh, okay. Very good.
And I don't know. I'm going to say it's going to be in that ballpark, but it's going to be, I think it's going to be a little higher than that.
Yeah?
Yeah. I don't even.
42?
Shootout? You think it's going to be a shootout? Or
I don't think it's going to be a shootout. I think after the first quarter, I think Andy Reid's going to get a hold of what they're doing defensively and then change what they're doing and just come and hammer them. And it may take the first quarter, it may take the first half, but I think the second half is all going to be Chiefs.
All right.
Because they're just going to learn they're just going to have them shut down. But yeah, maybe 42-28.
Chiefs all around. If you disagree, why don't you leave something in the comments?
Yeah.
We'd love to hear your feedback.
And part of that might be hopeful me too.
If we're all wrong, just don't comment. Just let us sulk.
That's right.
In our incorrectness.
But I will say that I am a little bit disappointed because I was really looking forward to a Chiefs Saints.
You would be the only fan, because everybody that I know that was a Chiefs fan was like, we barely beat you guys when Drew Brees, came back off of his 11 broken ribs and had his worst game of his career, and we almost didn't do it. So we're glad we're not playing the Saints.
Yeah, would have been a great game.
I think it would have been a really good game.
It would have been awesome, because I think one of the many advantages, but an advantage that the Chiefs have over the Bucks is the coaching. And you put Andy Reid and Sean Payton across from each other, then that's a more even matchup, in my opinion. That's an interesting, two of the great coaches, offensive minds. That would have been really neat.
See, and that's why I don't want to come off as too hopeful, because I think this is definitely the easier game for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. 31-10 Saints over the Chiefs.
I have the privilege. Our top 3 Super Bowl snacks, Matt and I will be watching the Super Bowl together on our way back from an adventure in the Great White North.
So, what are y'all going to have at your Super Bowl party? Let's hear it.
Yeah.
Top 3 snacks.
The snacks that we're going to have in a hotel is going to be Domino's Pizza.
Which is not on my top 3 list.
No.
Well, it wouldn't be on my top 3 Super Bowl snacks, because that would be just more of a dinner. But
okay,
maybe the Domino's dots, maybe we can make those.
You know more about the Domino's menu than I do.
Oh, mandatory hotel food. Now, if we're talking top 3 hotel foods, Domino's.
What's a Domino's dot?
That's their form of a breadstick. It's just
okay.
little dots that are really garlicky and buttery.
Dip them in
Sounds
cheese
good.
and.
No, you don't need to dip them.
Oh,
They're
okay.
good just as they
Don't
are.
dip. They're not dipping dots.
No,
That's ice cream, right?
Yes,
That's ice
Dippin'
cream.
Dots. Matt, top 3 snacks at the Super Bowl. Fire away.
So number one that you have to have at every Super Bowl party, bar none, chips and salsa.
Okay.
And it's got to be good chips and salsa.
Store-bought salsa or homemade salsa?
Homemade.
Okay.
Homemade. If you can do it homemade, like I'm fortunate enough, my mother-in-law makes homemade salsa.
Yeah.
Love it. And so that's what I'll take. So she makes it both fresh and canned.
Mm-hmm.
And I prefer the fresh for Super Bowl games.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What kind of chips? Anything like Tostitos?
Whatever.
Tostitos.
I'm not a big stickler on the chips.
Small rounds.
as long as
Small
they're
rounds are good.
Those are the best.
as long as they're not the scoops.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
like the
Yeah.
scoops because they cut the top of your mouth when you're trying to chew.
That's so true.
It's like Captain Crunch.
Yeah.
You're going to tear the top of your mouth up.
All right. Number 2.
Number 2, along those same lines, nachos. Just a big tray of nachos with some meat and cheese and
What kind of cheese? Because I'll tell you right now, Velveeta's out. I'm not a.
you don't you don't put Velveeta on nachos.
What do you put? Like, what's that cheese sauce? Whatever that is, I'm out on that too.
Like queso sauce?
No, like cheese sauce. Like you get nachos at a ball game. Like that cheese. That's not cheese.
That's probably
Those-
some sort of Velveeta. Melted,
Yeah, I mean, but they're-
melted cheese.
And it comes in a can.
Yeah,
and
that
you
stuff
basically-
comes in that big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So not that kind of nachos.
No.
You're talking like melted cheese.
Not even melted.
Yeah.
Not even melted. Just shredded
cheese.
shredded cheese on top of a big layer of chips with
Throw it in the
Some
oven.
black
for-
beans and a little bit of the pico de gallo.
pico de gallo.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Love it. So, and a lot of people will do like a 7-layer.
I like the 7-layer dip. Cut the black olives. I like the 6-layer version of the 7-layer
But
dip.
basically, it's everything that goes into a 7-layer dip. That is basically nachos. You're just dipping your chip into that
Yeah.
instead of having a big tray because it's easier for the 7-layer dip for people to put on a
Yep.
plate instead of a mess of nachos.
Right.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But love it. So, I mean, I love the chips and salsa, anything to do with chips that you can just sit there and snack on and eat more than you probably should.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Love it. And then the third one that I've got is something that not probably a lot of people have, but Buffalo smoke rings.
No clue what you're talking about. So
No.
I guarantee you that probably wasn't at any Super Bowl party I've ever
So
hosted.
it's basically a buffalo sausage stuffed into a casing and then smoked with cheese, like a cheddar and jalapenos, and spicy. You can get it. You can cut them up into little. I mean,
Toothpick.
yep, just toothpick it. Simple little snacks that by the time you realized you've eaten all of them,
Yeah.
it's been too much. So I like overeating on Super Bowl games.
Oh yeah. I just graze all day.
What are your favorite things to graze on? Top 3,
My
Troy.
favorite thing, top 3. Number 1 has to be a little barbecue sandwich sliders.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so just the little
On
sliders.
the Hawaiian rolls?
They can be Hawaiian rolls.
Yes.
it's a plus if they're on the Hawaiian
Yeah.
rolls for sure.
Those
Yeah.
things give me heartburn.
Those are delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt's old.
So do the buffalo rings. I mean, doesn't stop me.
Yeah. Yeah, these are
I got
delicious.
a little heartburn from tacos earlier today.
Taco too much.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, number 2. So
I'm good.
we were at a Christmas party one time, and these were brought to a Christmas party, and I've also seen them at a Super Bowl party, but it's just chips, but it's a buffalo cheese sauce, and it's the buffalo sauce.
Like from wings.
Right. Not like buffalo meat, but buffalo sauce that you get on your wings, mixed in like this white cheese, cream cheese deliciousness.
Yeah.
And it's addictive. And you can eat a whole bag of chips with that stuff. Number 1, y'all did mention it just a minute ago, is 7-layer dip.
Yeah.
That's my number 1 go-to for Super Bowl parties. I've actually got a big platter that has a field on it, and I always make it on that. And bring it to parties. So it's delicious.
It's good.
You feel like driving to meet us wherever we're at and just bringing that along?
No, thanks.
Yeah.
But I thought you said cut the olives.
Yeah.
I always cut the tomatoes for you.
I could eat around a tomato, like a tomato. If there's a tomato on something,
Yeah.
and you remove that tomato, all that's left is a little bit of juice, but nothing like, oh my gosh, there were tomatoes on this. Black olives, they have residue. Like if you take a black olive off of something, you're like, yeah, there was a black olive here. Like if you're eating a pizza and you're like popping the black olives off and you take a bite, yeah, this used to have a black olive on it.
Yeah, they just leave that oil, I guess.
I love it.
No.
So the way I do mine is I do beans down, like the bean dip down,
That's your base layer.
and then I mix up chives and taco seasoning in sour cream. And so that's the next layer.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like
That's key.
3 layers right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And then I do olives, and I do everything really chopped really fine.
Mm-hmm.
So olives, and then tomatoes, and cheese, shredded cheese on top. So
Do you do any lettuce on yours?
don't do lettuce on mine.
Nope.
Yeah, got enough crunch with the chips.
Yeah. Lettuce is filler anyway. Like what's lettuce going to bring to the game?
It's just a palate thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Chet.
So number 1, charcuterie board.
Ooh, good one.
AKA a meat and cheese tray. However, a charcuterie, and my wife is excellent at making these.
Yes, she is.
The different kinds of cheese. We do some of the fruit paste. It's kind of like a jelly, but it's not. It's awesome. You get some really good pickles on there. The Kyle's Mom's pickles, if you've ever had those, awesome. Have that on there. Some pecans, all different kinds of meat, salami, summer sausage, prosciutto, all the good stuff there. And then like 10 different kinds of crackers. So it's just, we have like platters that we use for this. Awesome. It's great. Love it. Good for any party.
Very good.
Next, any kind of a hot dip in a bread bowl. Like those are awesome. So something that I've noticed everything we've talked about from a dip perspective is chip dippable. But what I'm talking about here is a thick, cheesy, hot dip that you got to have like a wheat thin or something, like a Triscuit. You can't go in there with a chip because that thing's going to break.
Yeah.
It's some meaty, hearty.
So like a brie. Almost like a brie.
Yeah, but mixed in with stuff like not just cheese, but like you got a little bit of meat in there. Maybe it's the spinach and
Spinach and artichoke dip or something.
Yeah.
That's really good with chips, though.
Yeah.
You just have to make it thinner.
I don't know. It doesn't need to be thinner. You need a thicker dipper.
Well, I mean, if you're in a bread bowl, I mean,
Yeah.
you would need it thicker.
And then like a meatball, and you could even the little Smokies, just some toothpickable. I'm going to get some protein, because you got to have something for the guys that are not want to eat all the carbs, and still eat junk food, so like a good meatball. My sister makes these sausage balls like with Bisquick and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Man, I'm telling you,
Yeah,
something like
good.
that. Top 3, and that's the other thing with COVID. Like you're at a Super Bowl party with your peeps, like you got to be careful with the double dip in and all that stuff with all these dips. So the 7-layer dip, you just spoon it out, put it on your plate.
Spoon it out. Yep.
Toothpickable stuff, you just walk up there and
I just don't share. So
you just don't invite anybody over.
Well, I mean, that I don't have anybody to invite over, but it would be nobody's going to come all the way out to my house. But yeah, I just don't share them. Like, if you want something, bring your own. This is mine. Get your
Hardheaded on the snacks.
I'm just being practical and realistic about I'm not sharing.
And then don't crunch your chips when I'm sitting next to you.
Yeah.
Don't need no misophonia.
I'm the only one allowed to. Yeah, I'm the only one allowed to eat chips.
That's right.
Well, cool.
All right, Matt. I think you got a good word for us.
So simple, good word for today. Not going to go too deep into it. I'm just going to tell our entire audience, if you're looking for a movie to hype you up for the Super Bowl, Woodlawn is the movie that you need to go watch. And it's great movie about a community, a segregated community coming together and using football as that catalyst to work together. And true story. The football player that they're talking about in the movie actually played in 2 Super Bowls.
Oh, wow.
And just incredible movie. I highly recommend it. I saw it for the first time this weekend.
It's like on a streaming service or rent it?
Yeah, it's on. I mean, you can get it on Amazon Prime. I think I watched it on PureFlix is what it was on this weekend. Great movie.
Cool. We'll have to check that out.
Extremely positive and kind of reminds you of the beginning of the movie of kind of where we're at right now in the U.S. with just people on different sides of things. And sports used to be the thing that would bring people together, and
right.
you can use that to do that. And
Cool.
Movie just watched it at the perfect time.
Yeah, we'll have to check that out.
Highly recommend it.
Woodlawn, check it out. All right.
Yeah, and if we had, kind of swayed your decision making into what are you going to bring to the Super Bowl party, give us a shout out at the party. Hey, I made this charcuterie board because I heard about it on the Hardheaded podcast.
That's right.
And if you think you have the best salsa out there, leave me a recipe because I'm a salsa fanatic.
My son makes
salsa.
Some wonderful salsa.
I make pretty good salsa myself.
Not as good as his nephews.
We'll have to bring it all together because everybody's
we'll have
got
to have a contest.
Yeah. Well, see, but I don't think that you can ever really compare somebody's salsa because it's going to be good for somebody, but somebody else may not think it's as good.
Agreed.
But I appreciate all salsa because, some people like the smoke.
What a unifying message here.
Some people
Should we be holding hands?
The smoky salsa.
Like everybody's salsa is good for me.
Some people like the really hot stuff. I mean, I like it all.
Some people like the mild. Yeah.
All right.
Good word.
Some like it chunky. Some like it like a paste. I mean, whatever.
I'm
down with whatever. As long as it's got chips and salsa, I'm good.
Okay. All salsa is welcome. You know why salsa is so popular?
Why?
Because people like to say salsa. Seinfeld. It's an episode. There's an episode about salsa.
I'm sure there's a meme too. With this guy.
Or a GIF.
A GIF.
Actually, I'm going to call you out and fact check you on that. So we had an argument about this a few podcasts ago about how GIF is actually pronounced. And
what did I say?
What did you say?
I said
GIF.
Our president said it was GIF, and I'm going with it.
So the actual creator of GIFs says it is pronounced GIF. Thank you.
I'm listening. I didn't say that the creator. I said
it doesn't matter.
There was a debate. Obama declared, and I'm getting behind that leadership of just saying this is what we're going to do, and we're going to move forward. But it's not what the
creator says it was called.
Well, show me that video because I saw.
I will show you that video. Number one, because I was watching The Big Bang Theory.
Mm-hmm.
They actually discussed it in The Big Bang Theory. The guys had an argument about it, and then they said, "Well, the creator says that it's GIF," and I was like, "We had an argument about this," and so I went and researched, and there is an article that says that that's what he said.
Which ones of the characters were on what side?
I don't remember. All I know is that you were wrong and I was right.
And there you have it. GIF it is.
And I'm going to have to see some evidence.
See, and Troy knows because you were so worried. Like all week, I was like, I'm going to fact check you.
On what? And you're like, well, you know.
Yeah, you know what you did. And so he's like over there, he's worried about he's over there, and I sent you videos of him talking about it.
If that's all you got on me, then bring it. That's fine. Okay.
Well, most of the stuff you do.
Maybe I was wrong.
Not maybe. You were.
No.
But most of the time you do come well researched. But on this one you did not, and so I just.
I was researched it enough to know that our commander in chief.
You didn't research it. You just came off the top of your head with it and said, "Well, maybe that's true. Maybe it's not."
Obama said it. I got behind it.
He was wrong.
Well,
presidents have been wrong before.
Yep. But I'm just telling you, that's how I got to my conclusion. I didn't know. And then somebody in a leadership role stepped up and said, let's do this. And I'm like, I can follow that kind of leadership. I don't need to research this just to prove somebody wrong.
Well, we'll post the link to the article in the comments.
It's there.
And in the show notes. And y'all can check it out for yourself. GIF or GIF. I'm going with GIF. That's what I went with before last time.
Well, y'all could just spread all that around like your peanut butter that you're talking about right now.
Is what it is. You were wrong.
All
So
right.
I'm able to take that to the
Why don't
bank.
you play some music so we can end this thing?
All right, we're out of here.
After Troy says,
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to a special episode of Hardheaded. Go Chiefs.
go Chiefs.
If you like this episode, feel free to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube and Rumble. Thanks for watching and listening, and we'll see you next week.
And let us know who's going to be playing the Chiefs for the next, 10 Super Bowls.
It's not going to be Brady.
Won't be Brady.